Hey everybody, welcome to the Mush Show with Justine Smoke. This is episode 1, and I have my very first guests, and these are the Old Mush Singers. And so first, I just want to do an introduction to myself. My name is Justine Smoke, and my Haudenosaunee name is Haudenosaunee, and I'm originally from the Six Nations territory. I'm Onondaga, Clear Sky, and I currently am living in Vancouver, BC. And I initially thought of the name the Mush Show because where I'm from, we've had the Mush Hole, which is the residential school on my territory. And I wanted to bring light and positivity to the name instead of the negative connotation that it held previously. So with the help of my partner, he helped me develop a, what is that called? I can't think of the word right now, but MUSH stands for Music, Unity, Sharing, Hope. And so I'm creating a new positive space for people. And the premise behind my podcast is to put Indigenous people on a pedestal and celebrate them, showcase them, and give non-Indigenous people some education around our people and to see how successful our people are. And so I wanted to have you guys on this podcast today because my name is The Mush Show and you guys are the Old Mush Singers. And I thought that would be amazing to have you guys as I'm my first guest and kind of ask you guys about your guys' name and where your history comes from. So welcome to my show. I appreciate you guys being here. And if we could take a moment to introduce each one that's there, that'd be great.
Steve Longboat.
Hi.
Nyunga.
Lance Logan Key. Skunky. Means other side of heaven.
Which is ironic. Hubert Buck, Seneca.
My name is Seneca.
I can't see you. Can you pop your head in there?
Don't know. We can't see Steve.
Oh, no. Very nice to meet you guys. I know Lance, I met you years ago with my sister Adrian. I think we did a show together way back when. That had to be about like 2002 or something. And so anyways, actually, what's that?
Back when I was young and could dance.
Yeah, actually when we all could dance. So anyways, thanks for coming. I appreciate it. I know it's been a long time coming. We've been trying to get this date set. And in reality, I think it was my nerves. This is my first episode, my first time ever doing this. So I finally decided to just bite the bullet and just go with it. So I just wanted to ask you guys, when did the Old Mush Singers begin as a group?
He's one of the original members. Yeah.
Oh.
But I know I've been with the group for over 20 years, and they were a well-established group when I joined. So I would look like about 30 years. Maybe a little.
Wow. Yeah. Yeah, I remember you guys when I was little. I remember my mom playing the music. Do you know my mom?
Yeah.
Nice. Awesome. So do you guys have a history around the name Old Mush Singers?
Yeah. First the name. In our language, in Cayuga, it's Puchiquaganyo, which is Old Mush. So with Old Mush, that's a way of dividing, because a lot of our ceremonies are either sports or sides of the Longhouse respond to each other. Typically, we do that by clan. So one set of clan versus another set of clan. But sometimes one clan outnumbers the other. like by a lot. So they'll change the way they divide it up. And what they'll do is they'll divide it up by adult men versus men who are younger. So, and how they establish that is adult men are they're men with children. So the metaphor is mush. So mush that's just freshly cooked. So it's hot, it's smooth, it's very tasty. It's good, fresh mush. But old mush is a man who has kids. So it's like big old mush, or it's sat for a while. So it's kind of dried out, kind of crusty. Not as tasty, not as hot as it was when it was first cooked. That's old mush. And I've heard two stories around how that started with our group. Because the original men were all older. Most of them had children. So one of the Old Mush Singers. The other one is, I heard that my father, he's passed on now, but he was one of the original singers. And they hadn't come up with a name yet. They went to sing. And when they asked what your name is, my dad jokingly said, Ojipagano, Old Mush Singers. And it just sort of stuck. So it's actually true. Both could be true, knowing my dad. But that's kind of where it came about.
Oh, awesome. That's good to know. I've always wondered about that. I wasn't too sure. That's pretty neat. So I think the last time I spoke with you, Lance, you said that you guys usually just do shows and performances and sings.
So that's kind of the purpose of what we do.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the larger purpose is called Gandal, which is compassion. Mm. So we're what's called a singing society. So we have rules, we have obligations. We have a bit of a hierarchy, like nothing hard and fast, but there's new guys, there's guys who've been with the group for a while, and then there's the older guys who make decisions. We're Ojikoganyo Singing Society, Old Mush Singers, but we're part of a larger singing society that all the singing societies are a part of. So our job in the old days was we would provide the labor, basically. We'd go out, someone who was too ill or they were too old to cut wood for themselves. A lot of times it'd be a singing society that would go and do that for them. They need repairs on their house or their house burnt down. We do a lot of the work to help get that fixed, help rebuild the house. Like a lot of work like that. But that's evolved into fundraising. So when we go and sing, we get paid a fee. And with our group, typically it's the drivers who will get money for gas and like if we got to cover tolls and things like that. But the rest of the money goes into a benevolence fund. And when someone in the community is in need, it'll get brought up when we get together, and we'll decide whether we're going to support by giving funds, and then we decide how much money that'll be. And we don't make a big deal of it. Usually one of our treasurers, which is Hubert and Steve, will just go say from Old Mush Singers and leave it at that. We're not looking for thank yous or anything like that. We're not looking for our name in headlights and spotlights for helping people, because that's scanned down. It's what we're supposed to do. Well, he does, but but that's the purpose of a singing society. And I've heard a few different stories about how they got started, but basically the story that I understand is the close to what I think is right is women in a family would get together in a sewing bee, and they would make a quilt or a blanket. And they would talk to each other about different things that they've heard in the community. And when they go home, they would tell their husband, and they'd send their husband to help. And eventually, what happened is they got to a point where they said, "Well, I'm gonna send you out anyway, so you might as well hear it firsthand." So the husband and wife would go to this sewing bee. The thing is, the women, they're all related, mother, daughters, aunts, cousins. But the husbands, because we're matrilineal, they weren't necessarily related. So they're just kind of sitting there looking at each other, listening to the women. So they started singing. So that became sort of the glue that held it together was the men would sing together, and then they would do that work. That's what we evolved from. And that's what we do now as a sing. That's why we say singing society. And a lot of people don't know that when we're a singing society, that's not actually our main job. Our main job is to help the community. Singing is just the tool we use to get that done.
Oh, that's so cool. Oh my God, that's awesome. So how many years have each of you been singing with the group?
I've been a member since 2004.
Okay.
Yeah, 20 years.
And I think I'm about 22, 23 years.
Nice.
Yeah, I started in the last century. Yeah, I was one of the original members along with Amos Key and Alfred and a bunch of other little guys. Some of whom were passed on.
Yeah. And how about you?
With us for about a year.
A year. Oh, cool. Okay. He's new. That's awesome. Okay. Do you guys have any upcoming shows or anything that you guys are doing in the community?
We're threatening to go to the next sing. Again, in all humbleness, we're one of the more well-known groups. So it's noticed when we're not there at the sing, which is a gathering we do twice a year. And we didn't go to the last one, and people asked. So the guy that usually makes our songs are Ascania Guinness and New Women Shuffle Dance songs.
Mm-hmm.
He hasn't been available, and we haven't had a lot of guys coming out, so we decided we'll hold back this year. But our song maker, he actually he went on vacation, but before he left, he gave us 7 songs. So I think we're still debating whether we're going to go, but we're leaning towards yes.
Mm-hmm.
So, that's usually Easter weekend.
Oh, okay. Is that when is Easter again? In April?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
That's the next thing that we have in our agenda.
Oh, cool. And where is it at?
Rio.
Where? I couldn't hear you.
Rio.
Oh,
Allegheny.
Allegheny. Okay, cool. That's awesome. And I recently just received a CD from you guys, and that was pretty awesome to listen to. And there are some Haudenosaunee people out here, but it's not people I know. There's, it's very scattered, and it's funny because I never grew up on the reserve, and that's the first thing people say when they find out I'm from Six Nations, and they're like, "Oh, do you know so and so? Do you know?" And I'm like, I literally know my grandma and my aunt, and my grandma lives on 6th Line, and my aunt lives on 4th. I'm like, I don't know anybody. I'm so displaced from my home. It's so sad, but this is part of my journey to reclaim some of that back, and that's why I wanted to do this podcast and kind of reconnect with my people back home because I'm so far away. And I was hoping to make a trip out there with my husband. Well, I wanted my whole family to come, but it might just be my husband and I just because they've never met my husband. They've met my 2 older boys, but my youngest no one's met yet. And it's kind of hard to fly everyone back there. It's pretty pricey, and driving is like 3 days if you speed. So it's quite the trek to get back there. But I really hope to hear you guys sing live again. It's been many years. I think last time I heard you, I was probably a teenager, or maybe a little bit younger. And because I've lived in BC since I was 12. And I moved back when I was 17, I think, or 18. And then I moved back here again when I was 23, I think. So I missed.
The last time I remember meeting you, it was with Adrian,
Mm-hmm.
40 Renator Friendship Center.
Yeah.
You were both dancing fancy.
Oh.
You had said something about being out of practice.
Yeah. I'm always out of practice. I actually grew up dancing fancy since I was 6, and then I took a break because I did it so much as a teenager, and I took a step back from it, and picked it back up in my late 20s and then haven't really danced it since. And I'm so old now that I'm not dancing fancy, that's for sure. I'll probably hurt my back. So I'm dancing jingle if I'm lucky. But so I was just curious. I know this is going really quickly. I did, it's funny. I had a whole list of questions to ask you guys. Most of the questions I've asked you was what I planned on it, but I had another thing to ask. And of course, me being nervous, I lost my notes and all this stuff. So I was just told my husband, I said, I'm just going to wing it. I can't be so nervous because this is just a conversation with my people back home. And I can't, I can't fake the funk and pretend I'm all professional. It's my first episode. So I appreciate your guys' grace with me. I was hoping if you guys could sing a song, if that's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. That'd be great. I hope the audio picks it up because sometimes I don't know if it gets a little, the technical things I'm not too bright on, but if you guys could sing a song, that'd be awesome.
All of us can lead, so we're usually when we're at a show or at an event,
Yeah.
We're looking at each other to take the lead because we know each other can't.
That's awesome.
Hey oh oh yeah, hey oh oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. Haru hayate, hayate, oh hayate, gai, gai, oh yeah, hey oh oh yeah, hey oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah, Haru hayate, hayate, oh hayate, gai, gai, oh yeah, hey oh oh yeah, hey oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. Haru hayate, hayate, oh hayate, gai, gai, oh yeah, hey oh oh yeah, hey oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. Haru hayate, hayate, oh hayate, gai, gai, oh yeah, hey oh oh yeah, hey oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. Haru hayate, hayate, oh hayate, gai, gai, oh yeah,
Awesome. That was cool. Thank you. I'm just trying to think if there's anything else that I wanted to ask you guys.
If we could,
Yeah.
like to just maybe explain something about the sing.
Yeah, do that.
So it's a gathering that all the societies do. So as I understand it, they used to do it 4 times a year, one each season. But what they were finding is wintertime, it was New York winter, really difficult to travel, especially with the kind of vehicles they had back then. They're not like they are now.
Mm-hmm.
Summertime, people were very busy, with work, planting, lacrosse, and stuff like that. So they brought it down to just the spring and the fall. And what they would do, the original groups, or 4 original groups, they would make 14 brand new songs. I think that's why when Eskanye Gainase, New Women Shuffle Dance, got created. It was to honor the women who got the men to start doing singing societies.
Oh.
14 brand new songs. So each group would take a turn going to the bench in the middle of the gathering, and they would sing 7. Then the next group and the next group, and when the last group was done, the first group would go back up and they'd sing their second set of 7 songs. Now it's just we make 7 brand new songs, but we sing them twice through. So it's still singing 14 songs, but we're just doing it at the same time. And how we're told to understand it is, singing societies are there for the community. They work for the community all year round, except for the days of the sing. So the sing, is meant as a gathering that's specifically for singing societies where they don't have to work for the community. They're just there for each other. So when this gathering happens, the main reason for the gathering is for the singing societies to actually sit in a meeting and tell each other what they've done to help their communities. I didn't ask, if there's something bigger, can you help us out? They start offering, we can do this or we can give you this kind of thing. And the community doesn't even know where that's happening because it's in a private place where the rest of the community doesn't see it. So there's actually a lot of our own people who don't even realize what the sing actually is for.
Wow.
Because the structure of the sing is the first part of the day is each singing society takes a turn on the bench to share their Escanian songs.
Mm-hmm.
Then there's a supper, and the supper is when that meeting happens. So there's food prepared for everyone that shows up, but it's specifically for the delegates that get sent to the singing society meeting. And it's also where they decide where the next singing is going to be. Mm-hmm. And how everybody knows where that's going to be is the very first song that we do at the social in the evening is Gadacho, Standing Quiver Dance. And whoever's taking that next sing, they're the ones who lead Gadacho. So we have the meeting, and when they come up and say Allegheny's going to take it, like Rio, like they did this time. It was their singers who led the Gadacho at the beginning of the social. So everyone knew that's where we're going.
Oh, I see. Cool.
Part of the day, most of the attendees are all singers because they're all basically they're just waiting their turn to go sit on the bench to sing their set of songs. And in the evening, that's where you see much more people show up because that's the social. Mm-hmm. Yeah, but a lot of people don't. They haven't been taught that this is actually the singing societies. You're there as a guest if you're coming in as part of the community. You're a guest of the societies because it's the societies day.
Wow, I never knew that. Oh my goodness, I appreciate you sharing that because I've never knew that, and I just knew in the evening we just go in the jam out.
That's the thing is, because it's the same. The best of Haudenosaunee singers are there, so it's always like really good songs, really good singers.
Yeah, that's true. I miss it. I miss it so bad. You don't even know. I'll go on YouTube or even there's a guy who shares a couple of the songs. I'm not sure where it was, but last year, on TikTok, some guy named Mohawk. Oh, I can't remember his name. He shared some songs from the sing, and I don't know where it was. I think it was last year, somewhere. But man, it was nice to hear the songs and people just jamming out. And I was kind of sad. It was just like a short clip. And it just makes me miss it, I tell you. I try to tell my sisters, because all my family still lives back there, right? And I'm pretty much the only one out here. And my niece is out here as well. But I don't have many family out here. And I try to remind my sisters, like, you guys are so lucky. You get to hear our music live and get to go see all the people and family and stuff. And my boys, I got 3 boys, and it's crazy because I don't have the teachings for men, right? I'm not a man, obviously, so I can't teach them nothing. And that's why I'm hoping that this platform that I'm creating, my kids will be able to learn something. Because if you guys have ideas on who else I could put on, bring to my show, I'd really appreciate it. If you have anybody on some teachings and stuff, I think it'll help me as well because I'm so displaced from my community and I don't know much. I mean, my mom and my grandma taught me, as much as they could, as I can remember at my young age. And then I just kind of moved away and then don't know that much. And, my grandma, she's fluent in Cayuga. And I didn't know that till years later. And I asked her the other day, like a couple months ago, actually, and asked her how to introduce myself because over here, there's a lot of different nations that live in Vancouver and everyone introduced themselves with their language. And I kind of felt like, man, I don't even know how to say hello, my name is, and it's kind of sad. But my grandma told me, I was asking one of my relatives and she didn't get back to me. And my grandma, I was like, maybe I'll ask my grandma. And she told me, and she didn't mean to laugh, but she's like, you got a funny accent. I was like, yeah, that's the city in me, I guess.
Well, I can send you an email with different people you can contact.
Yeah.
Not just limited to singers either.
Yeah.
People, sports people.
Yeah. Yeah. That'd be great. Cause I actually just seen yesterday there's another podcast. It's it's called Creators Game or something like that. It's about lacrosse players and all the guys from Six Nations and stuff like that. And it's pretty cool. I just seen it yesterday, so I didn't really look very deeply, but it's pretty cool to hear the teachings because they were talking about how lacrosse, the French put the lacrosse box for the players because they couldn't run as far and as fast as our people did. I was like, wow, that's crazy. That's pretty good history around that. And I think more people need to know that, especially because lacrosse is worldwide. And, these kind of stories are important because it's our game and it's our history, right? So I appreciate that. I really would appreciate if any of you guys have anybody that you'd want me to talk to and like, introduce to the world. My whole goal here is to educate non-Indigenous people about our people and teach them and show them that we're here, especially in the States. It's crazy. And there's not much going on like they do here in Canada. It's crazy. In Seattle, you just don't see them like you do in Canada. And they're kind of just, I've heard that they just they stay in their reserves and all that. And they don't really venture out too far to the city. So that's part of my goal is to educate and get people involved and try to highlight as many people as I can from my nation and from all across Turtle Island and stuff like that. So if you can just send me, if either any of you guys got any ideas, if I could reach out to someone and put them on the podcast, because that's all trying to look for some ideas and explore and teach people so they know.
I used to work at the OFIFC, the Federation of Indian Friendship Centers. They changed it into Indigenous now. But they have the history of how a lot of Indigenous people moved to urban centers.
Mm-hmm.
That's Canada Highway.
Oh yeah.
It's usually if you're looking for a friendship center, they're not too far off from the Trans-Canada Highway. That's wise, because when our people started migrating to cities, they wanted a home in the city. So it started out with just someone's house, and that became like an agency to be what they are now. You don't get a lot of that in the States. That's why you don't see it the way we have it in Canada.
Yeah. Oh, wow. Look at you just teaching me all kinds of stuff. I love it. Yeah, that's pretty neat. I didn't know that. And it's crazy because it seems like Canada is so a little bit ahead of the U.S. right now. And it's kind of sad for our people because we need to have representation out there. And that's part of the huge reason why I'm doing this is so people can see. I've created an account on TikTok, and my name is The Mush Show with Justine Smoke, and you feel free to check it out. I've acquired 800 something followers, and most of those people are non-Indigenous. And I told today, on my video that I was going to do my very first podcast today, and I kind of gave them a background of what it was going to be, and they were like, "Oh, that sounds interesting." So these are non-Indigenous people who are saying it sounds interesting. So to me, that's pretty cool that I can tap into some people that don't know and hopefully educate them. And I appreciate you guys taking your time out. I know you guys are probably heading home pretty quick here. So I just want to say nyawa for your time. And if there's anything that you want to ask me, you can ask me now, and then or we could follow up or maybe catch up another time. I don't know. It's up to you guys.
Well, so in Old Mush's history, we've done a lot of things, like sang at the Smithsonian. There was a fundraiser for I can't remember the guy, but he was killed by the police at Dudley George.
Okay.
We did that event.
Oh.
So we and we've done a lot of different things like that.
Mm-hmm.
We've done radio shows. So we're not afraid of being on stage. We're not afraid of being on
Yeah.
So you want us to come back? It's probably doable.
Cool. Oh, I appreciate you guys so much. I really do. You don't know how awesome this has been for me, and you guys are so laid back, and I'm not as nervous as I was. So I appreciate you guys, and I can feel the energy between you guys, and it's really cool. And I just want to let you know from the bottom of my heart, I appreciate you guys. I've listened to your guys' music for so long, the songs, and I appreciate the teachings because I did not know. And I'm sure people, whoever's going to listen to this, have gotten educated as well, because this is something that I think needs to be told. I was totally unaware about what the sing was. And I just show up in the evening and we just jam out to these really amazing songs. And I didn't know there was history behind it, of course, right? No one told me. So I appreciate you guys. I really do. I really want you to know I appreciate the music that you guys put out. It's so good for my soul. You don't know, as far as I am away from home, it makes me feel like I'm back home. And I appreciate you sending me that CD. And also, you did say that you were you guys were thinking about doing more CDs?
Well, we've got 2 out now, and they're like years old. So those volume 1, that was 3 songs. And when we say songs, we don't mean like a 3-minute song. We mean like 20 minutes long.
Yeah.
So we've completely sold out of that, but we're thinking of like doing a reissue, because just that little bit of what we could. Here's where I was selling CDs again. My cousin, who used to be a member of our group, apparently he left a box of CDs at his mom's house. He forgot about it, and she didn't know it was there. And she was cleaning up the basement, and she found the box.
Nice.
Hey, that's a box of volume 2 CDs. So I started selling them. And it was just to move them along. But I have a long waiting list now of people who want volume 2, and they're hoping we do volume 1 again.
Oh.
So we're contemplating about doing a reissue of both of those.
Nice.
But we also have a set of songs that we recorded that we haven't released yet.
Ooh.
No, and when I say haven't released, we haven't put them to the CD and put them out for sale.
Yeah.
We own those songs. We're not singing, except for the Oneida songs, we're not singing songs that other groups haven't sung. They've sung for hundreds of years, but long before we came along.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not like we're releasing them, we're just releasing our version of those songs. But we have a set. We probably got enough for 2 CDs yet. So that's in the works. Not sure when, but it's in the works.
Awesome. That's cool. I think I only have 3 minutes left on this call with you guys, but in the future, I was hoping to have you guys back. And then I did have another question, but I don't know if there's enough time. But each song says something. They got words in it, and I don't know the language. So could you quickly explain, like, maybe one of the songs?
So the song that we sang is an Oneida and Tuscarora song.
Mm-hmm.
So we do a shuffle dance. That one doesn't have any words to it.
Okay.
What it has is what they're called is vocables.
Okay.
It's just syllables that sound good together. Together.
Yeah.
A lot of our songs are like that, just vocables. Every once in a while we make a word song. Mm-hmm. Every once in a while we'll make a song that's got English lyrics to it as well.
Cool.
And that's the thing about Oneida guidance is there's a lot of leeway for creativity in those songs because we make them brand new. So they're meant to be fun. They're meant to honor women, but they're meant to be fun. Well, not just for the dancers, but for the singers as well. So, we have some people who are really good at making songs, and then people like me who can't make songs very well. But that's what. So for me, personally, it's about learning the songs, learning them quickly. In all humbleness, I have a decent voice. I can be loud, so that helps the group out. Different guys have different contributions for how they contribute to that singing.
Yeah.
But that's the main thing is learning the songs. And usually the word songs are much more complicated than the vocable songs. So that's where we have a lot of fun is with the vocable songs.
Oh, cool. That's awesome. Well, I appreciate your time. There's a minute left, so I don't want to just get cut off because I think that might be what's happening. So I just want to...
Yeah, our songs usually only take about a minute. We can try to squeeze in one song.
Oh, yeah, sure, if you don't mind.
And that'll be the outro.
Okay. Thank you, guys. Now, yeah. Oh, right on. I love it.